Will, what's your outstanding worst manager in the Championship? Omar Reza might be up there, do you think?
Yeah, Omar Reza, just purely because, again, I mean, the average tier is the tier above, but he is just the definition of average.
Yeah.
Other than that, it is difficult to sort of, because in the Championship, all the clubs down the bottom, they just sack their manager when they're down the bottom. So
Gary Rowett?
No,
he's done well.
Yeah, he's done well. He's lost one game with Oxford, I think, and that's with the newly promoted Oxford side. So the only other one I will put down there is Scott Parker, because the style of play is just horrific. You try that Burnley Leeds game was probably the worst 90 minutes of my life.
It was thrilling.
I think it was like 4 shots all game.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, okay, he doesn't concede any goals. But
I think Dishwater might be a bit harsh, but I certainly don't think he's in top or class. Well, I think they've got lucky with their defensive record. The fact they've got a very good keeper.
I can move him up to average.
No, if you're the EFL expert.
Yeah,
I know. If you want
but
to put him in
he's
Dishwater.
not with.
That was a good Leeds clip I remember seeing, and it was just like the highlights of our game against Burnley.
And it's
it was literally a 5-second clip.
Right, so we might come back and put some in there, but we'll stick Reza and Parker in there for now.
Average, Again, we'll sort of make average our unproven.
There's a lot of average.
Our sort of unprovens here. So I'll put Matt Bloomfield in there first. Did a good job with Wickham, but he's not going to do much to Luton. I think they'll probably get relegated in the end. Do
you think he should have stayed at Wickham? Because there's an argument for it, but then Wickham will have gone up and probably done similar to what Luton would have done.
All about money. The EFL is all about money.
So until he gets a job where he's got investment, then he's not going to really do more than he is. So,
Are you surprised to see Luton that far gone?
Yes, because I thought they'd get towards the playoffs this year, but I think once their season started very badly, it's very hard to react from that. They've had losing every game last season. It carries on into this season. I think that mentality is just at the club.
I know
now.
they have plans for a new stadium, but I was surprised at how little they invested with 100 million or whatever it was you get from being in the Premier League and the playoff final as well. So
yeah,
I was quite surprised.
And I mean, they made some sales this summer and didn't. Who did they buy? I can't think of a signing off the top of my head.
Do you think Rob Edwards got given a bit too much time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just because he was one that got them up.
And that was always going to happen, but they should have acted sooner. And I think Bloomfield.
It's a difficult one to get rid of because obviously he's done so much.
Yeah. Well, it's like I know I bring it back to Forest, but it's like us with Cooper. Yeah. He probably should have gone. If you look at now, a lot sooner than he did. But you've got to have that affinity. So. Yeah, we've got Bloomfield in there.
Yeah, I'm going to put Luke Williams in there as well. Swansea again was Notts County manager to move to Swansea, but again not really proven at the Championship level. Big step up. You can't really do a lot with Swansea anyway, so it's a difficult one.
It's weird though because at Notts they scored a lot of goals, and then at Swansea they just don't concede goals. Then it's gone like the other way.
Yeah, but Notts County conceded so many goals. They scored 80, conceded 80 that season. Alex Neil's in there as well.
He's not very unproven, is he?
Not unproven, but again, just average.
They've done all right.
They've done okay, but he's just an average mid-table.
They lost 5-1.
They're not going to.
You're not
going to get playoffs with Alex Neil, are you? Put it that way.
John Massinio, do you think, or Luca? I know you want to make an argument for Massinio a bit higher.
Yeah,
but that's more.
No, I wouldn't say so. I think he's done a pretty good job at Pompey.
And he's only been there 2.5 years.
Should arguably stay up.
Yeah.
With not too much investment in the summer.
And I think when you're in a relegation battle, you've got to make something consistent, whether it's winning away, winning at home, good defence.
They've got a good home record. Yeah.
That's what's going to get them over the line. I think teams that struggle just don't get consistency in anything. Whether it's defence or whether it's a record, I think you've got to have consistency, and they've got a consistent home record.
Yeah, like even a top 5 team this season going to Pompey.
Yeah,
it's going to be a tough game for them.
Exactly. So. Who else have we got? Anyone else?
I'm thinking Tom
Carrick.
Tom Cleverley.
I'm not impressed with Carrick, to be honest.
He's definitely underachieving with that Borough side.
They're just inconsistent, aren't they? I could put Carrick in there as well. I'll put him above. I'll put him top of that.
He's in his 3rd season there now as well. He's been there.
Yeah, 2.5 years, and there's a
started
slight
off well.
progression, but I just think they should have been. They should certainly. I mean, you look at where Sunderland are. They shouldn't be that behind. I really like their manager and they've done well, but they shouldn't be that far behind Sunderland or a club like that. And I think Tom Cleverley can go in there as well.
And I'll put John Mazzino in there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of Cleverley at Watford?
It's just I don't know how anyone's supposed to succeed at Watford with how quickly they
toxic.
change their managers.
They've kind of tried to give him.
They have actually
a bit more time.
Yeah, but every time he loses a game, he's under pressure. Every time he loses
put a statement out saying we're back.
Tom Cleverley. It's not like they're the biggest team in the league.
No,
so it's just ridiculous.
I think it's an improvement on Wilder, which wasn't difficult. Who did they have after Wilder?
Watford.
Yeah.
That's a great question. Was it Valerian Ishmael?
Oh, it was Ishmael, wasn't
Yes.
it? Yeah.
I don't know where he's
I
gone.
mean, you could name any manager.
Any managers.
Probably
They've been at Watford or
Watford.
something. Like Roy Hodgson, yeah.
I think that's it for average. Anyone else want to put anything else in there? I think
Not overly.
The new Plymouth manager?
that's a good shout, actually.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm
I'd put him towards the top, though.
Yeah, he's done well.
Yeah, he's
But
impressive.
he's been there for what?
Interview.
4
4
games.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
He won them all, but
Yeah.
well, Drew's done that actually. But yeah, I think we'll move
And
on.
they've made signings that have helped that as well, haven't they? So, but I think that's.
But then they've also lost their best player
Mhm.
in
But-
Whittaker.
And you've not noticed it that much. And I know the way that they played, particularly against Liverpool, you might not notice a player like Whittaker as much. But yeah, I'm happy with him towards the top there. So, right, decent.
Start from sort of the bottom of decent. I'll put Heckingbottom in there.
He's a weird one, isn't he?
What-
It's like him and Wilder that only succeed at Sheffield United.
Yeah, what are you supposed to do at Preston though? Genuinely,
But I thought that was a good appointment when I first heard about it. And obviously Ryan Lowe was a weird one, wasn't it?
we were talking about Palace being that,
Yeah.
sort of 10th to 14th team. That is Preston,
Preston and
and
Bristol City.
Bristol City in this
City,
league. They're
yeah.
the two. They're just there for vibes. They never
I
do
think
anything.
Bristol would have more of a shot of going up than Preston.
They've got some good
But you
players.
can never
Yeah,
see
but you
either
say
of
that
them
every
going
year,
down
and then they get to the cusp of playoffs, and then they just completely bottle it.
They have like a cup. They get to like the 5th round of the cup or something. And they're just existing. So we're going to put Manning in there, or do you like him in class?
No, we can put Manning in there. He's not done as well as Bristol City as I thought he would. He obviously we sacked him, and then he went to Oxford and did very well there.
Yeah.
So he deserves his role there, but he's not done quite as well as I imagined.
No.
But he would get a job at most other Championship sides, I would think.
Tony Mowbray is screaming out to be in.
That is a
decent.
very good one.
Really, I was thinking towards class. To be fair, I think he's
I mean,
a
you
manager
put him in-
loved at all of his clubs. You don't get that a lot.
Longevity as well.
Yeah.
Proper championship.
We can put him in class.
Well, it's got to be agreed, but I would put Mowbray in class. To be fair, Will.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I'm not against that.
So we need to put Rowett in there, do we?
Rowett,
I
yeah,
reckon Rowett to the top of decent
top of decent. I agree with that.
When's
Done
the
very
last time
well
he
at
had
Oxford.
success though?
Why now?
right now.
Well, yeah.
He was very solid for. Obviously, he was Birmingham interim
Yeah,
last season. Not sure what he was supposed to do there. They got 51 points and went down. That's harsh.
Yeah.
And then was solid with Millwall, who don't. Well, they have a few good players now, but they don't tend to have
Yeah.
very good squads.
Yeah, I think decent. He's never going to be towards class, is he? There was a time in the Championship where he was. I remember Forest. I think we sacked Karanka and wanted to get him, and that would have been a step backwards. So I'm happy with him there.
We put the Norwich manager at the bottom of decent. They have some good players
Yeah.
in Norwich, Borgia Science, and they're not doing a whole lot with it. But
Yeah, and that home record, you've got to commend him for building that as well.
yeah, exactly.
But Sainz is suspended now, isn't he?
I think he's just coming back, but
Yeah.
he was suspended for 5-6 games.
And it wasn't-
For spitting on someone.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely guy.
And there was a
Nice.
bit of like reliance on him too much, I think,
Mm.
from the manager and the squad. Now who have we got left?
I'm
So-
thinking Eustace decent.
Yeah, I was thinking towards class, but he gets
Maybe
knocked out of him after going to Derby.
if he was still at Blackburn, maybe he would be in that
Yeah.
class spot. But he just keeps jumping clubs. It's not his fault. But
Yeah, well, Birmingham. Well, this one is his fault. Birmingham wasn't his fault.
No,
This
yeah.
one is his fault. I mean, to be fair, the Blackburn board, there must be something seriously wrong there if he's willing to leave there.
Did you see the
they-
statement that they issued before he
Yeah.
left?
he was
Yeah.
like, I'm
It's
not
just so
quite sure why
strange.
he's doing it because
Yeah.
we're in the playoff spots.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't be giving him any money.
And they signed Dennis from us. That's a really good loan signing.
Mm.
So
But if you're in that good of a position and you still want to leave, then there's
There's something
something,
wrong.
going badly wrong
yeah.
internally there.
I think now Derby will stay up. Unfortunately, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
he'll certainly have enough to keep them out of it.
I think so.
I can't see them getting towards
They'll
playoffs
probably
though,
back
because of the
him more than
investment.
Blackburn would have.
Yeah, that's
to be
true.
honest.
Yeah, I still think it's a long road to the playoffs
Mm.
though for Derby, but I'd like to see them in the Prem so Forest can play them more.
Yeah, I have
Um,
two more for decent. Two more. I have Daniel Fark and Chris.
What
Wilder.
you said average for Fark before we started?
No.
Changing the tune now.
Well, he's not great, but he wins the league and the championship basically every year.
Yeah,
So
that's-
it was a bit of a
that's-
joke for them not to get promoted last year, but there was a freak situation with Ipswich, and
Yeah.
anyone can lose one game at Wembley.
Yeah,
It's not.
yeah.
That's not that bad.
So we've got class and top for these.
Class.
Right. For me, Danny Roll's the best manager in the
Well,
championship.
we can put Danny Rolls straight in top tier.
I mean, are they 8th with one of the worst squads in the championship? The improvement was clear last year when he came in.
It's not even like a Plymouth where they have like one really good player and the rest are
It's like
right, but they're like
they don't
all.
have a standard. They're all
Well, Barry
they're all
Bannon.
dishwater.
Barry Bannon, I suppose, would be your
yeah,
standout
but he's
there.
washed.
Yeah, I
Barry
don't
I mean,
player.
Barry
I
Bannon-
like
What a
him.
player.
I don't
I
like
like
him.
I
don't
like
him.
Barry Bannon, but I mean, he's definitely not on his form. His
Wasn't he
peak
on like
now.
25 grand a week?
He
in
is on
League One?
25
League
grand a
One,
week.
yeah.
In League
Well,
One
it
as
would be
well.
that plus about 20%
So
now.
it's
So
nearly 40, wasn't it? It's like on bonuses and stuff. But yeah, to have them in around the playoffs is ridiculous. And the fact that Chansiri didn't invest to give them a chance at Premier League in January, I know he wants money out of the club, but they should have invested in January a lot more than they did, because they've got a real chance, the best chance they'll have. And when they lose him, because they will, they'll probably go down.
Who
next
do you
season.
see him getting poached by?
Any ambitious Championship club, I think the clubs coming down would look at him if they want
Do
to
you
make
reckon,
him
do
their
you reckon he
manager.
could even be looked at by some
100%.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
I don't think he would, because I think they like to give them a bit more time to build in the Championship with better players than what he's got there. But I think any ambitious Championship club, like Blackburn, could go after him, really, if they sorted themselves out behind the scenes, which they won't. But yeah, I think he's...
Or even a Bundesliga team could
Yeah.
go in for him, something like that.
Yeah, I think he's top class. And it was, to be fair for them, it was a very good find, isn't it?
Yeah, an
So-
assistant manager at a German side.
Yeah.
It's quite...
So Danny Roll, top. But I don't think anyone... I know you think Cifuentes beats him. I don't think anyone beats him. But make your case for Cifuentes.
Well, I'm going to put him in top, because I think we can have two in the top
Yeah,
of the Championship.
absolutely.
So we talk about squads, and his experience. This is his first job in England. His experience around Europe. He's got a really good portfolio. He signs good players for cheap, because buying players in any league in England is so expensive at the moment. And I think that side to his game, I said in my video, I think that Roll is the better coach, but I think that Cifuentes is the better manager. And I think that his overall his style of play as well is good. It's adaptable. He can beat teams in loads of different ways. And at a club like QPR, who's smaller than Wednesday, I know Wednesday have got a worse squad and a worse owner, but I think he's doing a really good job there to get him. They're in somewhat of a playoff fight.
Yeah.
At least top half. So that's
Has he been
I
there all
think-
year?
yeah. So he's been there.
Because they were struggling
Mid
big
last
time,
season,
wasn't
wasn't
it?
Mid last season,
Yeah.
he
Start of
plays
the
Ainsworth,
season.
so he did very well. He kept them up last year, which was a
They've
great
both got
achievement.
very similar trajectories, haven't they?
Mm.
The pair of them. And I think they both merit being in top. So I'm
I
happy
think
with
so.
that.
I agree with that. And then that.
Then these four in class, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. So Lampard,
Lampard, absolutely.
I rate a lot.
For this level.
I think he's top class,
Yeah.
top of class.
Yeah.
Um,
Sellers, I think, as well.
Sellers, yeah, in there over
Yeah. The signs were
Mowbray.
there at Southampton when he came in 2 years ago, and then Reading. It absolutely scored that league. So
Lebris is in
the
there
one
as
I
well.
was unsure about
Lebris
was
is a good
Robbins.
shout.
Yeah, Lebris. Yeah, I like
Lebris,
I mean, to keep track with the top three for this long, I know they're starting to fall off now, but they'll undoubtedly get playoffs. And I don't think you'd have said that about Sunderland. Like,
No.
they'll definitely get playoffs.
I
before
feel
the
like they're at
season.
sort of a ticking time bomb on Sunderland. Eventually, they're going to have such a storming season with the squad they've got, and it's all young players, and they don't,
Yeah.
they sold Jack Clark to Ipswich, but
That Enzo Lefay signing is just...
that's ridiculous. The
ridiculous.
Championship, that could take them. He could take them up on his own.
He could do, but if they don't go up this season, either automatically or the playoffs,
Then he would drop down to decent.
players are also going to start to
leave.
leave.
Yeah.
Like you
So
look
they've
at
got to-
Bellingham,
they've got
he's
to
probably going to look to go.
Give confidence they're going to have a good year next year.
Mhm.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely.
If
And
they
then-
if they can anchor down Lefay for next season, regardless if they go up,
Yeah.
then
He used to
they're in a
play
very,
under
very
him,
good
didn't he?
spot.
I think that's why the
Mhm.
link is.
It's a similar signing to like Anthony Knockout. I remember when,
Yeah.
when he went to Brighton.
It's a joke.
I'm just going to put Mark Robbins at the bottom of class purely because of what he did at Coventry.
Yeah.
I mean, there for years. I think Stoke was a bit of a sideways step for him, which is a bit weird. That was a bit weird one for me, but
But
They got-
it's not your sort of traditional. It's not what teams are going for now, is he? Really?
No.
Shown by Coventry sacked him, and then
he got Coventry to they were one VAR decision off of a
Premier
FA
League.
Cup final.
Yeah.
FA
Yeah.
Cup final. So
Yeah, and then they lost the playoff to Luton, didn't they?
yeah, that's it.
So that's
Yeah,
Wembley
exactly.
back-to-back years. Really, really top.
Did we,
level.
did we mention Chris Wilder?
Not a lot to mention.
I think we just put him in
Oh, yeah,
decent
Yeah,
and just
yeah.
forgot
I was a bit
about him.
surprised they kept him for this year. It made sense last year to bring in someone that knows the club and stuff. But I was quite surprised he said that this year. But no, he's done a decent job. But Sheffield
What's
United
going to
have
happen next year?
such a good squad, and
It's just going to be the same rinse
Yeah.
and repeat next year. you'd think.
yeah, I'm pretty happy with that list. To be fair,
Yeah, I am. Any objections, Jordan? You're quite quiet there.
Just going through the faces.
yeah, lots of new names today, haven't you? It's
Yeah.
quite good.
That's what we
There
were
it
trying to
goes.
do.
Back to
Educate.
back
as well
to
as
school.
info.
Back to school.
There you go.
Right. Okay. Well, we're going to move on to a championship playoff quiz. We'll be back in a few minutes.